Snowflakes danced softly outside the large glass windows of a lonely mansion perched at the edge of the city. The house was beautiful, glowing with golden lights, and a perfectly decorated Christmas tree stood tall in the corner, but inside there was silence. A silence so heavy that it felt like it could be heard. Every Christmas Eve for the past 5 years, Daniel Hayes, the CEO of one of the largest companies in New York, had sat alone by the fire, waiting for something or maybe someone, but no one ever came. Once upon a time, Christmas was his favorite day, full of laughter, music, and warmth. But after his wife passed away in a car accident and his only son moved abroad, Daniel's world fell apart. He buried himself in work, trying to fill the void that love had left behind. His wealth grew, but his heart became emptier with every passing year. That night was no different. It was Christmas Eve. Daniel sat on his grand sofa, staring at the flickering flames in the fireplace, holding an untouched glass of wine. Outside, the snowstorm howled, and inside, his loneliness echoed louder than ever. He whispered to himself, "Another Christmas, alone." Just then, knock, knock. The sound startled him. Who could it be at this hour? He rarely had visitors, especially on holidays. He hesitated before walking to the door. When he opened it, the cold wind rushed in, and with it stood a woman and a little girl, both shivering under thin coats. The woman smiled nervously. "I am sorry, sir. Our car broke down nearby, and we've been walking for almost an hour. We saw your lights and thought maybe we could use your phone." Daniel blinked in surprise. A single mother and her little girl, stranded in the snow, standing on his doorstep on Christmas Eve. For a brief moment, he wanted to turn them away. He didn't do company, not anymore. But then he looked at the little girl, her rosy cheeks trembling, her tiny hands clutching a small gift box wrapped in paper that had clearly been used before. Something in her eyes reminded him of his son when he was young, innocent, and hopeful. "Of course," Daniel said quietly, stepping aside. "Come in, please." They entered, shaking off the snow. The woman's name was Emily, and her daughter was Sophie, about 7 years old, curious, bright, and full of life. As Emily called for a tow truck, Daniel noticed Sophie looking in awe at the Christmas tree. "It's so pretty," she said, eyes wide, "but why are there no presents under it?" Daniel froze. He hadn't realized he hadn't placed a single gift under the tree for years. He cleared his throat awkwardly. "I didn't think anyone would be here to open them." Sophie frowned. "That's sad. Mommy says Christmas is about giving, not just waiting." Emily chuckled softly, embarrassed. "Sophie." But Daniel smiled faintly. "She's right." They stayed for a while, waiting for the tow truck that was delayed because of the storm. Emily tried to apologize, but Daniel insisted they stay the night. The roads were too dangerous. He prepared dinner, or rather, reheated what his housekeeper had left earlier, and they sat together at the table. It was the first time in years Daniel had shared a meal on Christmas Eve. Sophie's laughter filled the house, and for the first time it didn't feel like a mansion, it felt like a home. After dinner, Sophie placed her small gift box under the empty Christmas tree. Daniel raised an eyebrow. "What's that?" She grinned. "It's for you. Mommy and I make little gifts every Christmas for someone who might need a smile. This year it's you." He slowly knelt beside her, carefully unwrapping the little box. Inside was a handmade bracelet, simple beads strung together with the word hope. Daniel's eyes welled up. No one had given him a gift in years. "Thank you, Sophie," he said, voice trembling. "This means more than you know." She smiled. "Now you have hope again." That night, while Sophie slept on the couch and Emily quietly cleaned the kitchen, Daniel sat by the fire with her. They talked about life, about loss, about how Emily worked 2 jobs just to give her daughter a good life. She had lost her husband years ago, too. "I guess we both know what it's like," Daniel said softly. Emily nodded. "But I learned something from Sophie. Grief never goes away, but kindness makes it lighter." Her words stayed with him long after she fell asleep. By morning, the storm had cleared. The tow truck arrived. Emily thanked Daniel again and again, promising to send back his spare blanket and gloves. As they prepared to leave, Sophie hugged him tightly. "Merry Christmas, Mr. Daniel." "Merry Christmas, sweetheart," he whispered. "You gave me the best one I've had in years." They waved and drove off, leaving Daniel standing at the door, holding the little bracelet in his hand. Weeks passed, but Daniel couldn't stop thinking about them. The laughter, the warmth, the reminder that life could still be kind. He found out where Emily worked, a local diner. Without saying who he was, he began visiting often. They talked, shared coffee, and slowly a friendship began to grow. He even offered to help Sophie with her studies, and she quickly became the light of his days. Months later, Daniel quietly arranged for Emily's debts to be cleared and offered her a position managing a new charity branch under his company, helping single mothers find jobs. She was hesitant, but he insisted. The next Christmas, Daniel's house looked different. The same golden lights, the same big tree, but this time it was surrounded by laughter, by gifts, by life. Emily and Sophie had become part of his family, and so had Hope. As the three of them sat by the fireplace that night, Sophie tugged on his sleeve and asked, "Mr. Daniel, do you still wait alone on Christmas?" He smiled, tears in his eyes. "Not anymore, sweetheart, not anymore." Sparkling heart moral of the story. Sometimes the people who walk into your life by accident are the ones who were meant to find you. Kindness doesn't just change others, it heals you too.